And I am so happy and so excited to be here this evening, especially considering the fact that this is actually like the very first organized, what's it called, speaking engagement that I'm having, this year. So I am really grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much. And now, so I will go straight into it, and I'm going to be starting with my own personal story. So, I'll start with how I discovered this opportunity to teach in Japan. So it happened earlier last year in 2024. So it was during the holidays, and I was in Abuja. The last place that I taught at in Nigeria was in Abuja. So I went to school that morning. I think we were on holidays, and I think just midterm break. And I went to school because I didn't want to stay at home. So, curiosity and all of that, I was just online browsing. And then I went to Facebook, and I came across a post on Facebook, and the writer just said something like, hey, teachers, there is an opportunity for you to go teach in Japan. So many people are in Japan teaching right now. And I was like, because I know many people talk about China, like everyone hears about China, but then I knew very little about Japan. Like, I know there's a country called Japan, but I didn't even see it as a place where there could be an opportunity or a place where I would even think of or consider going to. So, but I had nothing doing, right? So I was just in school, just playing around. So I was like, okay, it will not hurt to just go online and just read up about it. Let's see if it's even possible, if it's even a thing. And then I went online, and then I searched teaching in Japan. And I started seeing, like, it was not looking real. Okay, it was not looking real at first. And then secondly, I almost gave up even before I started, because I felt, okay, I am a teacher, and I've been teaching for some years now, but I studied communication, which is not even a related field to teaching, as many people erroneously believe. And I was okay, I know this can, pass in Nigeria, but for me to go to a developed country like that, I don't think I have what it takes. And at the time, I just started my PGD at the time. So I was like, okay, you know what? It won't even hurt to apply. What's the worst that can happen? Just tell me to go. And at that time, I didn't even have the money. Even if I was offered employment, there was no way I was going to take it up, because it was not just there. So fast forward to that same day, I read more. I started reading, went to Reddit, and then that just killed the excitement that was already welling up in me. Because on Reddit, it was like, then come to Japan. You're going to be slaving all your life, it's a terrible place to be. You're going to be a chatterbox or radio box or whatever they call it. It's not a good place to come to. Don't come to teach in Japan. I'm like, what is happening? So if people are actually saying all these things about teaching in Japan, then it means that actually people actually go to Japan to teach, right? So I was like, okay, so I think this is all that I need. And I don't think anywhere can be worse, or any teaching environment can be as bad as the teaching environment in Nigeria. So I was like, if I can survive here, I think I can survive anywhere. And I think that's also the Nigerian spirit in me. So I went to YouTube, and I saw a couple other videos talking about teaching in Japan. I was like, oh, and I saw black faces. I was, oh, yes, now I can confirm that this is true. So I began applying, and then, okay, like I said, right, why I moved to Japan, or why I'm currently in Japan now, I didn't have Japan in mind. I didn't know anything about Japan, so it was just coincidental. So that same day, I applied to Altia, I applied to Borderlink, I applied to Interact, I applied to, I think, 4 or 5 companies. I applied to them, and then I think I was still in school when Borderlink got back to me. Borderlink got back to me that same day. I think that was when I was like, you know what? I think this is real. this is real. And then Borderlink started with I should have an equivalent of, I think it was 300,000 yen or something. As at early 2024, Borderlink wasn't asking for, you know, all this proof of fund that many people now tell me about and all of that. So it was very easy for me, but as at the time, the amount that I was expected to even have for my settling in, I didn't have it. So I didn't bother myself applying to Borderlink anymore. I just kept the application aside. And then Altia got back to me. They told me they're sorry, they cannot continue with my application and all of that, you know, those sorry emails. And then that was it for Altia. I was done with that. And then I think Interac and one other company. By the way, to cut the long story short, I proceeded with Interac, and then I applied, and then I moved on from one stage and then to the second stage. The second stage was the phone call, and I received the phone call. I guess, you know, even if they tell you we're sorry, we cannot proceed with your application, they never tell you why. So I felt at that point that I received that phone call because they wanted to maybe just hear my voice or hear how I sounded or something. I'm not so sure. So the phone call lasted for like just a minute or two. It was just mere chat. It was not a serious interview, even though I was prepared for an interview, but it wasn't an interview. It was just like, hey, how are you doing? I'm good. You know, you're in Nigeria, you just very informal chat, so to say, like within 1 minute or so. And that was it for the first stage of interview. And then they were like, okay, you know what? If you make it to the next stage, we're going to call you back, or we are going to send you an email or something like that. I completely forgot all about that. Okay, fast forward to a couple of weeks later, I got another email telling me about the next stage of the interview. And I was like, oh, I think I am making headways, and I proceeded to the next stage of the interview. And it was a one-on-one interview with David from the US or UK, wherever. So it started as a serious interview, but then it just went straight into a casual sort of interview. At that point, I felt a little bit confident that I actually have got the job, because the interview moved entirely from all of the why do you want to teach in Japan and all of that. But I must point this out that before the interview, I actually went online to read about Japan. Remember I said earlier that I know that there is a country called Japan, but I know nothing about Japan. It wasn't my mind. Like, if anyone that told me, okay, where do you want to go, Japan wouldn't have even come up in the conversation in the first place. So I really knew nothing about Japan. So, but as soon as I moved on to the whole stage, I started reading about Japan, the culture, the school, the work environment. I went to Reddit, and all of the negative reviews, I kept reading them, and I noticed something. Most of these negative reviews were from, the West. And to an extent, I quickly, did a little examination, or what do they call it now? And I understood at that point that these people that are complaining, I don't know, this is not a racist or whatever they call it, but I think somehow they feel that when they come to Japan, the would be treated like kings and all of that. You don't have to do nothing in the class. You don't have to put in the extra effort, and you don't have to, I'm a native speaker. That kind of, because even here, some of them are that way until something happened one day. We're having a training that we usually have, quarterly training. I'm in a high school, okay, which is actually a very rare position for especially non-native speakers, okay? But I don't know why I'm in a high school, not in a primary or elementary. And on one of those days, we were given a quiz. I even did a very short video about that on my YouTube channel. And it was dictation, commonly misspelled words and all of that. And I sat next to this, I think, American guy, a very white guy. And yeah, he was so ashamed. Out of, I think, 15 15 words. I'm not sure he's caught up to two because I marked the script. So when we were done with the dictation, we were asked to, swap our papers. I could see this black girl, how dare you score higher than me kind of look, but I don't care. The guy, he was so ashamed. All through till the end of that training that day, he didn't say anything, and I could feel for him. But I wished at that point that the results were actually displayed on the projector so everyone could see and know that, okay, the color of your skin does not determine what you have up here. Okay, so I noticed something, that most of those negative comments on Reddit are usually from these people who feel that they are the only ones that are qualified to actually come here to teach. Meanwhile, most of them do not even know, they can't handle a proper classroom. Sometimes during training, we are usually asked to, like a flip kind of training where we, the ALTs, will just go out there and do a presentation or something like that. You see some of them, you just want to sleep off. Like, no, you cannot be my teacher. I cannot be in your class. You are not. What do you mean just stand there? Okay, today we just want to talk about, and also your voice is not clear. You're not, that's by the way. So I noticed that about the negative reviews on Reddit, and I did not allow that to stop me. So I continued reading about Japan and all of that. So during my one-on-one interview, and when I was asked to talk about Japan, I had a wealth of knowledge. I had a lot of things to say about Japan, about the food, which I'd never eaten. And naturally, I am a very picky eater. And I knew at that point that coming to Japan, I was going to struggle with food. It actually took me an entire year to be able to at least try some foods here. Like, it is that terrible for me. So, but I knew this job was getting serious, and if I am going to get it, I need to show that I understand the culture that I am coming into. If I am going to get this job, I need to make my recruiter understand that I am not just coming because I want to escape something. I am coming because I feel that I can contribute to the educational system in the country, and I cannot wait to integrate into the society. I made my recruiter understand that I am so excited to be a part of the Japanese culture, and I really want to be a part of it. And I went on and on talking about this and that and this and that. So that was it, and that was it. So when he was rounding up, he said something like, okay, so what if we don't have a position for you this year? What if we ask you to wait until next year? At that point, I was like, whoa, it seems they just want to drop me off. So why did you lead me on with all of this conversation about, because it got to a point where he was even telling me, oh, when you get to Japan, you should try this. You should go to this place. You should visit this place. You will love it here. And after all of this, you're telling me, what if you don't have a position for me? Oga, what is wrong with you? So what have we been discussing all day? So at that point, I lost hope a little, But then, after a couple of weeks, I think 2 weeks later, I got an email that I have gotten an offer, or they found a placement for me and all of that. So that was just basically the beginning of, my ESL teaching. And that is it from my own personal story. Okay, so now let's move on to the requirements for teaching abroad. Basically, especially for Japan, I'm going to be speaking authoritatively about Japan because this is where I teach, right? I know there are ESL, opportunities in Vietnam, in China, even though, but Japan is, to me, seems like the easiest of all of these countries, okay? So now, requirements for teaching in Japan. Basically, what you need is a bachelor's degree. What you need is a bachelor's degree. So, because a lot of people say, oh, okay, what if I have an HND or something? Unfortunately, as an African, except you're from South Africa, okay? South Africa is the only African country, that is considered a native speaker of English. And we all know why. It's because, they still have the whites predominantly with them and all of that. So they have that advantage, and they're so lucky. Sometimes I'm jealous of them because they can apply for the JET program, and the JET program pays you like almost triple of whatever working with a dispatch company pays you. That is number one. Number two, going with JET, your airfare is fully covered. They give you some commission for your accommodation monthly and all of that. So it's a completely different package, the JET program. But unfortunately, South Africa is the only African country that can apply through the JET program. So every other person comes through what's it called? Dispatch companies. Now, why did I talk about that? I talked about that because you should know this. An American, someone who graduated from high school, not a university in America, would be given a job. Yes, and you as a Nigerian who has a bachelor's degree, you might even have a master's degree and you will not get it. But a high school graduate, as long as you are from the US, the UK, all of those countries, they will bring you because they feel, okay, you are a native speaker. So we just have to try twice as hard to be able to beat those ones over there. So now, as a Nigerian or as an African, okay, interesting. So as a Nigerian and as an African, you need to have a university degree. You need a university degree. It doesn't matter the field of study, right? Whether engineering or computing, or you study French or Igbo language, or whatever. Let it just be a university degree. No HND, no ND, and all of that. And number two, you need a TEFL certificate, teaching English as a foreign language certificate. Even though this is actually not a compulsory requirement, right? But it just gives you an advantage because that shows them that, okay, this person is really interested in teaching English as a foreign language, and this person is really putting in the effort, okay? Because, okay, beyond your university degree, you have made an extra effort to understand what it means to teach English to non-native speakers of the language, and you've made the effort to want to understand how you can better teach this language. Okay, so TEFL is an added advantage, but if you do not have it, it doesn't matter. So I think these are basically the requirements to apply for this teaching in Japan. Okay, and also your age. For some companies, they will ask you for your transcript. For some, they will ask for your university degree. So it doesn't matter. So if you are preparing or planning to, TEFL in Japan or somewhere else, you should have your transcript ready and you should have your university certificate ready, so that whichever one, you can just move along with it. Okay, so age, officially 60 years is the cutoff age for TEFL. 60 years is after 60 you cannot apply. So if you are 59 downwards to 20, I think, you can apply. Okay, but we all know that certain things are on paper, right? So if you're 59 and you want to apply, I don't know, but that is what they said, right? They said you can apply, but we all know these things. We know these things, so that is it. Okay, so now what do Japanese schools look for? Actually, yes, when you get here, you will be working in a Japanese school. But you're not working for a Japanese school. You're working for a recruiter. I don't know how okay, this is how I'm going to say it, right? So I got recruited by a dispatch company from Nigeria, and I am working in a Japanese high school, senior high school. All of my activities, everything that I do my teaching, everything in the school. But it is my company that is responsible for, anything that is not related to the academics. So these dispatch companies, what they are looking for is someone who is ready to, be a part of the culture. Someone who is ready to, for example, let's even start with the interview, because I remember this. Someone actually told me that she wore a red dress for a Japanese interview. See, I don't know if you've come across maybe Japanese modern day movies or something, or something like The Train and all of that. Everyone is on black. We are a monotonous country here, like black and white, navy blue, and Japan doesn't like colors. Let me put it that way. They don't like colors. Red. When she told me she wore it, I'm like, who? Before you even start speaking, that has already disqualified you. Why? Because they feel you don't even know the place you're coming into. You cannot be going for an interview with a Japanese company, whether teaching or not, and you're putting on a red dress or any flashy dress. Your safest bet is simply a white and black, or a suit, or navy blue, white and black, dark green, and all of that. No dangling earring and all. See, I'm already used to just this tiny thing already. No dangling earring, no heavy makeup. Yeah, you can apply makeup, but very minimal. No shine, no colorful lips, and all of that, especially as a lady. And as a man, your tie and all of that. No tattoos, on your body, or yeah, you can actually have your tattoos, but it shouldn't be in the visible part. Let your dress cover your tattoo. So all of these are some of the things that you should, these recruiters are looking out for, because there's a way you would even appear, there's a way you would dress to the interview. They just feel from the way you're looking, from your appearance, that no, this person knows nothing about this culture that they are coming into. So we cannot even, we will just finish this interview just for the sake of finishing the interview, but we cannot move further from here. So as far as I know, that is another thing. Another thing is they want to know about your teaching experience. Do you have teaching experience at all? And when we talk about teaching experience, especially in this scenario, it's not necessarily in the school setting alone. For example, if you are a Christian and probably in your church, you are in the Sunday school department, or you've handled any responsibility at all, then it is considered teaching. And there's a way you can structure this into your CV that makes them understand that I am a teacher. I can teach. I have the capacity to teach. If you are not a Christian, probably during your NYSC you served, or anything at all, any capacity at all. Okay, you've assisted. You have your siblings. Maybe you have an auntie. You have a big brother or a younger brother or something. You've looked after a child. Weave that into your CV. Let them see that you have the capacity to handle a child. You have the capacity to look after someone. Okay, your sister drops her baby at your place, maybe twice a week or something. You can weave that in, because as long as the child is with you, you're responsible for that child. You're taking care of that child. You're overseeing the child's welfare. So what did you do within that period? How did you manage the child's behavior? How did you ensure that that child was safe until the mother came to pick him or her? Okay, weave that into your teaching experience, and you are good to go. So they want to see a teacher. Another thing they are looking out for is how you handle your classroom. Okay, I will give a few examples. So before I moved to Abuja, I was in Kaduna, and I taught in Kaduna. So I taught the primary students. I was in year 4, and there's this boy who was struggling a lot to learn. He was the oldest in the class at that time, and he couldn't read. Even his own name, he struggles to write his own name. So what I started doing was, I noticed that the parents, they would usually come to pick him late. So I went to year 1. I went to year 2 and collected their, the teacher's English textbook. So when every student goes home and he's left with me in the school, I just, use that textbook as a guide, because I noticed that he, even though he still struggles with the the year two curriculum, but at least he wasn't struggling that much with it the way he was struggling with the year four, English curriculum. So I would sit with him, we start with writing 2, 3 letter words and all of that, and gradually, before you know it, a boy who couldn't even write his name could write properly. And during the when the examination came, he was able to at least attempt some questions. This one naturally would not be able to do that. So that is an example for me. When I moved to Abuja, I had another student. In one of the classes who also had such issue. And after close of school, I think every Mondays and Fridays, we would usually have some 30 minutes, or sometimes we would just be there until the parents come or the driver comes to pick him from school. So all of these formed, part of my own teaching experience and how I have actually helped a student. Now, for these recruiters, it is no longer enough that you are a teacher. Yes, you are a teacher, but who are you? What is your teaching experience? What is your years or months of teaching? What have you learned? And how can you contribute to the educational system here? Okay, so it is no longer enough to be a teacher, but how have you helped students improve? You have to put that. And also, when I was in Abuja, the last school that I taught, it's a blend of Nigerian and British curriculum, right? So I prepared my students for checkpoint examination. We made use of, all of these 21st century skills, research, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, all of these things. We used them a lot. So I was able to put all of this together to just let them know that, okay, yeah, I am a teacher like every other person, but this is the kind of teacher that I am. I am a teacher that can fit into any classroom in the world. I am a teacher who understands the needs of the learners at this age, and I can, I can meet all of my learners. Also, do you understand differentiation? Because in a class you have different levels of learners. You have learners who are, the high flyers, the low achievers, those that are just there in the middle. How are you meeting these students? If you're asked this kind of question, for example, you're asked in your class, you have a student who is hyperactive and you have a student who struggles to learn. How do you, okay, someone is raising their hand. Okay, sorry, let me conclude this and then okay. Please note down whatever you wanted to say, please. Okay, so you have this variations. You have these different levels of learners in the classroom. How do you manage your class? How will you manage that class? Okay, some teachers will not be able to answer this question, which is actually very simple, especially if you have been teaching for some time. Okay, if you've been teaching for some time, this is actually very easy, you can handle. So they want to see the type of teacher that you are. Do you understand teaching in the 21st century? And if you are a teacher, probably especially in public schools in Nigeria, and even in some private schools in Nigeria, I know what it feels like and how it can be, no sufficient materials, nothing prepares you for teaching at this age and time. So I kind of understand that, and the only thing I'm going to tell you is to please go online and read, go online and study, understand teaching in the 21st century, understand how you can meet up, because you're coming to Japan. Japan is a first world country. Like, when I came here, I was telling one of my colleagues back home, I told him, I said, you see, the public schools in Japan, there are very few top private schools in Nigeria that can meet up to the level of public schools in Japan. And I said it authoritatively, and I am still repeating it now. The top ranking private schools in Nigeria, some of them cannot even measure up to the public schools that are in Japan. So we are just two worlds apart. So all those things that we glorify in Nigeria, you know, you go into all these top schools in Abuja and you're seeing their views, you see the hostel, and you're like, wow, wow. When you come here, those are the things that we have in the public schools here. Those are the things we have in public schools here. I have never one day have to complain about material. I have never have to one day talk about, okay, back in Nigeria, I don't even go close to the printer because the admin has to ensure that the papers are not wasted or nothing is wasted. Everything is well taken care of. Here, I am in charge of everything. We have so many printing rooms. I have a printer behind me. I have everything is like I don't struggle. I have never complained for one thing. We have the general staff room and we have the language room, the English language room. In the English language room, there's a mini library. There is a main school library. So sometimes when I don't want to sit in the staff room, I go into the English language room and I'm there. Whatever I need is there. Everything I need is there. Like, I have never for once complained about not having a material or not having something. So if you are coming from that system where you have to sometimes struggle for everything, the only way that you can at least understand what is going on the world stage is through research. Always research. Read online. What is the latest about education? What is the current thing going on about education? I teach in a public school, right? All of my students have their tablets. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. I'm feeling emotional because I am trying to just balance the two sides, right? I'm trying to make you understand what you're facing back home and what you're coming into and the requirements that your recruiter, what they want. So if you are coming into this system, you need to understand what you're coming into. So there is an application called Loyal Note. For example, I am in front of the class, I am teaching my students. They don't have to carry their pen and their papers. I have my projector, I go into the class with my laptop, I project whatever answer that question that I want them to, talk about or whatever it is. Okay, in 3 minutes, send your answers to Loyal Note. Everyone, you see everyone on your tablet, it's there. You can, if you want, you can project their answers or you can walk around, check what they've done and all of that. So these are just, you need to understand that where you're coming into, they've gone very far ahead of you. They've gone very far ahead of you, so you cannot be coming with, and I think to an extent, I am speaking from a place of privilege because the last school that I taught in Abuja, I really appreciate that school because to an extent we apply, some of these 21st century skills. The owner of the school was very big on that. And I am also going to encourage you, if you can, especially if you are not teaching in, such environment, please find your way into such environments, however you're going to do it. Find your way into such environment. I believe it is not only in Abuja that we have these big schools. It is not only in Abuja. It is not only in Lagos. There are so many places all over the country. Also, while you're waiting for an opportunity for, better placing and all of that, if you do not have your PGDE or if you did not study education, get it. I understand that I am being sincere right now. I understand that most of us teachers, we are teaching not really because it's our passion. We are teaching because Nigeria happened. Nigeria happened, and number two, we are not going to depend on anyone to feed us. We are not going to depend on anyone to, we want to work with our hands. We want to be self-sufficient. So we are in this profession and we're doing that. So while you're waiting for this opportunity to, go teach abroad or anything, get your PGDE, Coursera, however it's pronounced, I don't know. Get certifications. 2,000, 3,000, pay it, just keep expanding your horizon. Keep acquiring this knowledge, because when you get to that phase of the interview, even though you've not been in this kind of environment, even though you have not taught in this kind of environment, even the theoretical knowledge that you have is enough. It is enough. you'll be able to speak. And then when you get into the system, somehow, you'll just find a way to, just level up and just roll with the tide. Okay? So, I think for me, these are some of the things that recruiters look out for. They want to see what you have and how you fit into teaching. If you're just an ordinary teacher in Nigeria, and please do not overlook, do not downplay your role as a teacher, or don't feel like I'm just going to be teaching for a year or 2 years and I'm going to leave the teaching profession. What if you don't leave in 1 year or 2 years? So that 1 year or 2 year, the time frame that you give to yourself, you can also acquire, make another certification so that that thing that you are looking towards getting into, if it does not work, you can continue teaching or move to a better role. And I'm also going to tell you something that most teachers in Japan are doing, or maybe other places in the world. Many of our brothers and sisters, there are so many Nigerians here, and these guys are very smart. Most of these people, everyone is just teaching. We come online to say we're teaching, right? Yes, everyone knows we're teaching. But a lot of them, so many businesses. I won't say more than that because I don't know who is going to be watching this video. Please, I don't want to be in trouble. So please, just be very smart. That's just it. Just be very, very smart, please. Okay. Okay, so my CV and my intro video. Can I actually remember? Okay, for my company, right? I think I had the privilege of being given a specific topic. I didn't do an intro. Okay, I did an intro video, but they told me exactly what they wanted me to talk about in the video. Okay, so they gave me a topic to teach. Okay, you're gonna teach this topic. Imagine you're in a classroom, you have your students, and then you're gonna teach this topic. So remember, I said it was during the holiday. So by the time I got the employment, it was during the April holiday. So of course, I was the academic coordinator and the last school that I taught in Abuja, so I could just wake up any day and go to school. Everyone knows me. So yeah, I just go to school, and then just because I have that privilege, I just go to school, and I was able to record my self-introduction and my teaching demo in the school. Okay, of course I am a teacher. I've always taught students, right? So I just pretended as if there were students in the classroom, and then I just, good morning, just being excited. Even though at that time I was no longer teaching, I was teaching secondary school students, so it was really even very difficult for me to actually come to that level of my head. What was that song I even did? I think head, shoulders, knees and toes, head, shoulders, you. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. But you have to demonstrate. You have to show that, because that is another thing. A lot of people, they don't. You just want to come and form professional and all of that. Because when I did my self intro and my demo lesson, I was actually, because of the topic, I was like, you know what? I think these guys just want me in primary or elementary school just to go there and be singing. And I was okay, since it's songs, let me just, honestly, as at the time I did that interview, I didn't know that song very well. So I quickly went to YouTube. Like, yeah, I know the part of the body, but I didn't know how to sing that head, shoulders, knees and toes song. I didn't know it. So I quickly went to YouTube, and then I learned head, shoulders, knees and toes. I learned, I'm like, God, what kind of life is this? But anyways, this is what I need, right? So I'm just going to flow with it. So I learned the head, shoulders, knees and toes, and I was there in the classroom, in the empty class, doing head, shoulders, knees and toes. And when I was done, I was like, okay, Henry, can you tell me what part of the body is the head? Correct, very good, good job. Okay, so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just being a clown, but it's okay. Anything to get a job. So I did that, and then because I teach teenagers. We don't do all of that. These guys are my gist partners. I talk to them like adults. So why am I? But anyways, that was what the job required, right? So I did it, and I did it with all of my mind and all of my heart. So please, you need to do this. Also, please don't misunderstand me. You don't have to talk through your nose, right? But please learn the proper diction. Learn to pronounce your words clearly and right. Okay? Because this is another thing that they are looking out for. For example, you can say, okay, I want to contribute to the development. Because a lot of people say words like that. Development. What is development? There's nothing like that. Okay, so you need to work on. I understand that sometimes our mother tongue interference, yes, but remember that you are a teacher. You are not part of those people that will come online and be saying, once they go abroad now, they start speaking through their nose. No. Why do you think I was employed in Nigeria as a Cambridge English tutor? Why do you think I was employed as a Cambridge tutor in Nigeria? Not because I was speaking through my nose, but because I worked on my diction and I learned to pronounce words properly. Am I perfect? No. But I learn. I allow my ears deliberately, very deliberately. I allow my ears to be open to learning. Okay? So I don't just talk. I don't just say, it's not for me. It is not my mother tongue. Yeah, a lot of people say that. It is not my mother tongue. It is not my language. Yes, we know, but you are a teacher. You are a teacher. So this matters to you more than anything. Okay? It should matter to you. So watch the way you. This call will end in 15 minutes. Is that going to happen, really? Oh, it's true. So let me just. I'll tie it up, okay? So please watch your diction. For the relocation. So when you get the job, I have talked about the things that you should look out for, especially in your CV. Please package your CV well, okay? Package it well. Don't just and make it brief. 1 to 2 pages. Mostly 1 page is okay, for your CV. 1 page is okay, but if you have so much to talk about, then go ahead. But please do not just list schools experience. Abuja International School, 2025. So what you have written that? What did you do there? What did you do? For example, I learned technology, or I learned the use of ICT to facilitate learners, to encourage my students. I made use of collaboration, flipped learning. I made use of, towards the end of the term, 25 out of my 30 students, they were able to master the art of collaboration and public speaking at the beginning of the year. We want to see what you did, the experience that you have, okay? We want to see that. Not just listening, okay? So, that's it. So for the visa, once you get the job, your employer, and I think that's another easy thing about Japan, okay? It's very easy. You're not stressing, you don't have an intern paper at the embassy, you're not paying for anything, your employer handles all of that, and then the only thing you're going to receive is certificate of eligibility. Your employer will send it to your email. That is what you will take to the embassy, and then they will give you, I think, sometimes 5 days in 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks now, I don't know. And then when you do that, as soon as your visa is stamped or your passport is stamped, you get the visa. You're going to pay the last time frame was 12,500. I don't know how much you're paying now. Okay, you pay 12,500 naira, and that is all. So you don't have to worry about visa or any of those things, as long as you have your employer already handling all of that. Okay, so common mistakes to avoid. I think I've already said that. Don't just talk about your teaching experience. What did you achieve? A lot of people do not. They don't highlight the things they were able to achieve. Did you help a struggling learner? Just breathe in. Think. Okay, what did you do this portal that except you're coming in through the JET program, if you're coming in as an ALT with a dispatch company, you really do not have so much benefits. Okay, yeah, you have all your health insurance, you have all those things, so just normal things here, but you are responsible for your flight fare, you're responsible for your accommodation when you get here, but because, okay, for example, when I came in, my company, the booked an hotel for me. I stayed in a hotel for I think 2 days, everything fully paid by them. And then the sent a staff to come pick me and took me to my house. She followed me to open a bank account. She followed me to shop for some pots and all those things. Like, I don't think you have to worry so much about that. Your company would ensure your safe landing and all of that. So, Praise, do you think we should take some questions now, or is this really going to end in 11 minutes?
Okay, thank you very much. So it's going to end, and we can move to the next one so that we don't, we avoid interruptions. So everybody, we sent the second link to the Google Classroom. So please, and you have yours, right? Because I sent it to your WhatsApp.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
I did.
So everybody just join that one, and then we just start taking questions. I have my own questions as well. I've been writing on my pad. So I have my questions I want to ask, and I also want to share some things, my own personal experience with Taiwan. And so everybody join the next one. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God. Jesus. Jesus. What am I doing? Jesus. There's something about thy name. Master. Savior. Jesus, like a fragrance after the rain. Okay, people are joining now. Sometimes this thing is so. These people are ready, chai.
Okay.
Please mute. Please wait as you join. Mute yourselves, please. So we don't get your sound, please. Okay. So I think we have the full house here. So if you have questions, please, the floor is yours. You can start asking your questions because I think she has about 2-3 things to cover. So we want to just pause now and then take questions. So if you have questions, please ask your questions. So while we are waiting for them to ask their questions, I have my own question. Let me ask.
Okay.
So you mentioned that they will be needing a bachelor's degree and TEFL certificate. So I wanted to ask, which particular platform offers the required TEFL certificate? Now, the one that is popular and is free is the one from teacherrecords.com, right? So can someone use the one from teacherrecords.com to get a school in Japan? Or do we have to use another platform like maybe WordTessel or ITTA to get the TEFL certificate? So I just want to know if that one is actually recognized.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to, I won't say yes, I won't give a yes and no answer, but this is what I'm going to say. These ones that are paid for, the ones you get, TFL.org and all of these ones, they are very expensive, right?
Yes.
But if you can, please get it.
Exactly.
Because these are the highly recognized ones. Okay? If you can, like if you are capable of getting it, please get it. However, I applied with the one that I got on teacherrecord.com, but I cannot say to what extent that contributed to me getting the job. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
Yes,
say.
I totally understand you.
I've heard people say, oh, it is not recognized, it is not. But that was what I had on my CV, and I got a job. So, and sadly, when these companies say, oh, no, we cannot proceed with your application, they never tell you why. So I can't even say for sure now if that actually contributed to, or if they just, I can't say for sure if they only considered my years of teaching experience and, the things that I highlighted on my CV, or if the TEFL actually, the one that I got on teacherrecord.com, if it actually helped me. So what I usually tell people is, get the one on teacherrecord.com. But if you can afford it, please go for those ones. So I think that's it.
All right, thank you. Any other question, please? If you should ask your question, so because after now I will not answer your question, so you said I'll answer it, please. Okay, please go ahead. Thank you.
Please, I've had a teaching experience, and that was during my NYC. And the school facilities weren't equipped as just like the way you mentioned that you guys have over there in Japan. And having theoretical knowledge of just how the facility looks like is not just enough. So for those of us that haven't been in a well organized facility just like that, so how do we cope and suit ourselves, make ourselves suitable for these prospective job opportunities? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like that question. So I'm going to start this way, right? But let me ask you, as a blue kid, right? Okay. Do you know how to prepare a PowerPoint presentation?
Like I said, my school didn't have those, but during my university days, most of my projects and things were done on PowerPoint, so I did that during my school time.
Very good. Very good. I'm going to be very honest with you. As long as you can design a PowerPoint presentation, you are halfway into the 21st century teaching and learning. So I'm going to make this a little bit more explanatory to you. So, even right from when I was in Abuja, right? Each class has a projector, and I have my computer. The school has a computer in its classroom in case a teacher doesn't have their own personal computer. And we teach with PowerPoint presentation. So now, for example, what topic can I use as an example now? For example, you want to talk about maybe parts of speech, something like that. Basically, there are things that a 21st century teacher should put in mind if they want to, do this kind of teaching today. For example, I want to talk about parts of speech. I will not just go to the classroom and carry pen and paper or carry chalk and start writing on the board. The first thing that you do as a 21st century learner is to give something we call warm-up activities. And warm-up activities is just basically an activity to just wake the students, just, hey guys, I'm here, something like that. It could be word search. It could be guess the name. Do you understand, something like that? If, as a matter of fact, it could be something like maybe desert island. Okay, you're on an island, or you're climbing Mount Everest. So, guys, today we have something to do. So I want you to get in pairs. You're walking in pairs or you're walking in groups, depending on what you want, right? And depending on what the warm-up activity is all about. So you can ask the students, maybe you're going to walk in pairs, 2-2, or you're going to walk in groups, or you're going to walk individually. You are the teacher. You are the facilitator, not teacher. That is another thing that a 21st century teacher understands. You are not a teacher. You are a facilitator, because you facilitate learning. Yeah. Oh, okay. You facilitate learning, and then to make the students, get interested in your lesson. And these things make the students look forward to coming to your class. So this is different from when we were in school, and then you want to learn part of speech, the teacher just comes to the class, and then everybody starts copying notes and all of that. No. Please understand. At least I'm sure you can remember some of these things in case they would be helpful to you sometime in the future, even right there in Nigeria. Okay, so you go into the classroom. Okay, guys, I have a question. You are going for a mountain expedition. You're climbing Mount Everest. I have 5 items for you. You can only pick 3. What 3 are you going to pick? So now I have for you, and this thing that I am saying now, it can actually be displayed on your PowerPoint. But you don't have a PowerPoint, right? And that is okay. So you are in a school without a PowerPoint presentation. You can just highlight these things on the board. You have a tent, you have an oxygen tank, you have extra clothing, you have food ration, and maybe some other thing that will be necessary for you to climb up the mountain. But make sure that all of these 5 items you're giving, they are all important. So your students have to choose the best 3. Now, this is where the fun is. Because they're trying to, we want to be the best, we want to be the ones to give the best answer. You will see the excitement on their face. No, my group has to succeed. Oh no, my pair has to succeed. We have to do already, before you even begin your lesson, the atmosphere in the class has already been elevated. It could be that, or it could just be something as simple as we're going to be doing words. Maybe just giving words, alphabet. No one misses it. So we're starting with the letter A. A. Someone says apple. Okay, when you say yours, you point at someone else. So that everyone is ready, everyone is alert. It's not like Azubike is waiting for Chinyere. It's not like, I am coming after Azubike. No. When Chinyere says, when someone points at Chinyere and Chinyere says, Batman for B, I point at Ianu. Ianu says, just it could be anything. And warm-up activities are not necessarily activities that are tied to even the lesson of the day, but they should be something that the students can learn from and something to just keep their spirits awake. That is one thing. Then now, the second thing is you're moving into the lesson. You will not start by explaining what part of speech is to the students. Put the question to them. See, these kids are very smart, and I learned this in Abuja. They are very smart, but because they've so depended, yeah. They're so dependent on us, and they know that, when Mr. Azubike comes to class, he just gives the lecture and he just leaves. So everyone relaxes. But no, in the 21st century teaching and learning environment, your students, they are the ones with the ideas. You are mainly a facilitator. So throw the question. Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 minute. I want you to think about what a noun is, or I want you to think about parts of speech or something like that. These are various ways that you facilitate learning in the 21st century. See, this is clearly different from what we are used to back in those days. So this is another thing. Then also, when you're making your lesson plan, you as the teacher, you have your lesson objectives, right? As you're preparing for your lesson objective, you're also preparing for your success criteria. You watch your time, you watch your teaching time. Because at the end, before you leave that class that day, everyone must get to that success criteria. You could have 3 success criteria for that day, right? So number 1, I was able to identify 5 parts of speech. I was able to give examples. I was able to make sentences with examples. I was able to identify the parts of speech in these sentences. So when you display any of these success criteria, you will see some students say, I fall into the category of 1. Remember we said there are different what's it called, level of understanding among the students in a particular class. You have the high flyers, those ones that before you even talk, they've known everything. And then you have the ones that it will take them like repetition of that particular lesson for 2 times for them to catch up. So you have different success criteria, and then that will help you to analyze your lesson. So these are the things in the 21st century learning environment that makes it completely different. But you do not have access to projectors and all. You could make yours oral. Okay? The most important thing is you remember these things and you practice. And I'm going to tell you something, right? It is not necessarily, the main purpose is for your students to learn. But primarily, it is for you as a teacher to be able to fit into the teaching today. It is for you as a teacher to be able to understand what teaching entails at this time. And it is also for you as a teacher to be able to stand out. You're not just one of those teachers. You're not just one of those ignorant teachers who does not know what is needed in the learning environment today. So yes, you can have this theoretical knowledge. Trust me, if you understand the theory, if you're thrown into a classroom tomorrow, because it's already here, it will be very easy for you to replicate. It will be very, very easy for you to replicate. You want to talk about mathematics, division, and all of that? Tell the students, if you are going to be teaching division next week, tell the students, with the permission of the school, that each child is coming to school, or no, maybe, I know this might be a bit, coming with knife might be dangerous or something. You as a teacher, you can come to the classroom with a knife and orange. Cut the orange into sections, put it on each table. This is what we call hands-on activity in the 21st century learning environment. So, hands-on activity, the fun that the students can actually touch, they can feel, it helps them to retain knowledge more. It helps them to understand better what you are teaching. So I don't know if you understand. So these are the things that make learning in the 21st century different from what we are used to. And these are the things that you should understand that will help you succeed. I don't know if I helped a little bit.
Yeah, you really helped, and I during my experience as a teacher during my NYS in Port Harcourt, my students were basically SS1 and SS2. So when my class is going on, when I notice that my students are kind of being too tense with my teachings, I randomly tell them stories that aren't even that real, but it ended up cracking them up. So I want to know if this format could also be encrypted in this modern day teaching.
Now let me tell you how you should bring that into your teaching. I will tell you one thing. I miss teaching in Abuja, and this is why. It was the most stressful place that I'd ever taught in my life. As a matter of fact, I don't think there was a month that passed without me having migraine. Because aside being a teacher, I was also a form tutor. I was the academic coordinator for the entire secondary school. So I had so much responsibility. I was a mentor to some. It was just a lot. But I will tell you something that helped my lessons to be easier. In the 21st century, there is something we call flipped learning. Flipped learning, basically, is you apportioning subtopics to your students. They come to class, they teach the class. And you as a teacher, you observe, and if there is any corrections to be made, you make those corrections, and your lessons will move on. This helps you. If, as a matter of fact, see, these students, they want to do a lot, but because they know that Mr. Azubuike is the teacher now, he's coming to teach, so he will come, he will teach us, we will just go. Especially for the 8th grade that you're teaching, these teenagers, they can show you shaggy. So the best way to get to them, to really touch their hearts, is to make them involved in your teaching. For example, I'm not really so good with science subjects and all of that, but probably you're teaching maybe biology, you want to teach cells, you want to teach reproduction and all of these things. Okay, class, we are going to have some groups. So we have 3 students in group A, 3 students in group B, groups depending on the number of topics that you have. So group A, you are going to be handling cells. You give them the subtopics. So within themselves, they know who is handling the definition, who is handling the type, animal cell, plant cell, or whatever it is. They just do all of that. And you give them enough time, maybe like give them a week. But you as a teacher, you have also prepared for the lesson in case they don't deliver as much as you want them to deliver. But if they know that Mr. Zulike is not coming to be the teacher, they will really prepare, because some of them even have crushes. So it's another chance for them to prove to their crush that they are very smart. So they want to be the best. They want to give their best, you know. They want to come and talk with all of this thing. You understand now? You see them iron their clothes very well. They will look sharp on their presentation day. And for my classes, as a matter of fact, one of the parents, I think two parents have actually said something like that to me before. Like I uploaded on my WhatsApp status. I gave, okay, you know, in English, right? Especially in my school, we had literature and then we had English, but it is combined. So now we have a lot of books to read. And it is not just about reading these books. It is the fact that when they're writing their checkpoint, which is the Cambridge, you know, examination, not Nigerian, they have to answer questions based on this literature. And also they will prepare for BECE and they will prepare for Junior WAEC and all of that. They have to answer questions based on this literature. And we already have the English curriculum. We have the British English curriculum. We have the Nigerian curriculum. All of these things inside that same one term that is naturally just structured for Nigerian curriculum. So it is a lot.